Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today the square we're making is called Hugs and Kisses, which you will have seen on the beginning title. It's got lots of stitches in it today, lots of different stitches, but I will take you through those different stitches, and it doesn't suggest any colour changes, because it's got quite a lot going on already, so you might want to just keep it all in one colour, but that's entirely up to you. So today we need some yarn, we need a hook, and of course we need a cup of tea. And I haven't shown you my cup of tea for a while, so I thought it's about time I did. So grab your stuff and let's get started. Okay, so to start you can either use the magic ring, or you can use the chain 4 and slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. So that's what I've done here. And now our first round is going to be exactly the same as if you were making the basic granny square, which was day 1, square 1 of the Granny Square Crochet Along on Facebook. Details in the description box below. Oh, and just to say, if you need to slow the video down at all, if we're going a bit too fast, then either up in the top corner or just below, there's an option to slow the video down if you need to, and also obviously pause and rewind as well to catch up. So we are going to start with a chain 3. And this will count as your first double crochet. So now we need to do 2 more double crochets straight into this ring, into your magic ring, whichever you are using. So chain 3, 2 double crochet, that counts as your first set of 3. And then you are going to chain 2, and then you're going to do another set of 3 double crochets, just as if you were doing a basic granny. Okay, chain 2, and then do another 2 sets of 3 separated by chain 2, and then do a slip stitch into your top chain here to close the round, and I'll see you back in a moment. Okay, so that's round 1 completed. I've just done a slip stitch into my top chain, and I have changed my hook because my other one was this one. It was too similar to my yarn colour to see what was going on properly, so change that hook there. Okay, so we're going to be doing round 2, and for that we're going to be doing some bobbles. So we need to turn our work over because the bobbles will show through on the front. Okay, so to start with we're going to chain 3, and this will count as our first stitch, our first double crochet, which actually will be our last double crochet because it will be the last one of this part here. Okay, so we are going to do our corner, which is a double crochet, chain 2 and a double crochet. Nice and simple. And then in the next stitch you're going to do a double crochet. Just remember that your stitches will look different from this side as they do when you go in from the right side. Okay, so just be aware that you're looking at something a bit different if you're not used to working into the back of your work. Okay, so you've done a double crochet, and now to make the bobble. So yarn over twice, so you've got 3 loops on your hook. Insert into that next stitch, which is the middle one there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left on the hook, yarn over twice again, insert into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You've now got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over twice, insert back into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you've now got 4 loops on the hook. We're going to do that twice more, so 2 wraps, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 5 loops, and the last time yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you've now got 6 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all loops on that hook. I've got a funny stray strand somewhere. There we go. Is it there? There we go. Okay, that is your bobble stitch done. When you get to doing the next part of your work, you'll see that bobble stitch forming there. Okay, so the next thing to do is, remember when we're working around, we tend to do mirror images, symmetry going on, so we need to do the same as what we've done on this side. We need to do a double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in that next stitch, and then for our corner, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Okay, and then for the next side, exactly the same, double crochet into the next stitch, and then I'll show you that bobble stitch once more. So wrap twice, insert into the middle stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, wrap twice, insert, pull through 2, pull through 2, 3 loops, wrap twice, insert, pull through 2, pull through 2, 4 loops, wrap twice, insert, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, 5 loops left, wrap twice, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. You've now got 6 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, and that's how you do your bobble. So then you'll do a double crochet in the next stitch, and then you will do your corner and your double crochet, bobble, double crochet, corner, and then you'll do your double crochet, bobble, double crochet there, and I will finish this round off. So pause the video, finish the round off as well, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Okay, I forgot to say before I pause the video that because you did this first chain 3, that counts as your last double crochet. So after this last bobble, just join in with a slip stitch to your top chain. Okay, so just do a slip stitch in your top chain there, and that's round 2 completed. Pull your tail in for your circle if you need to, flip your work back over, and we're doing all the rest of the work on this side. Okay, so for round 3 we're going to be working in this chain space here of our corner, so just do some slip stitches in each space here to take you over into that corner. Now I'm going to do 2 to take me a bit further into the corner. Okay, so once you're in this corner space, turn your work around, and then you're going to do chain 3, and that counts as your first double crochet, and then do a double crochet into that same space. So you've got the equivalent now of 2 double crochets in that space. And now you are going to skip the next stitch, skip this stitch, and in the next stitch you're going to do a treble crochet. So that's 2 yarn overs, insert into that stitch. Oops, I've gone in the wrong place there. And to go into, so 2 yarn overs, and then you're going to go into the stitch. This one might be a little tricky to find because we did just do our slip stitch over it, so you might need to just do that thing that I always talk about, is give it a wiggle, get it through. So once it's through it should be okay. Alright, so do your treble crochet in that stitch, and then you're going to go back into the stitch that you skipped, and you're going to do a treble crochet, and you're going to come in front of this one you just made, so round the front. Often we say to go behind, but we're coming in front. If you find the front difficult though and you would rather go in the back, that's absolutely fine too. So under there, and then work your stitch in front. Then you should have your 2 trebles crossed over like so. Okay, and now we are going to do a double crochet in the top of our bobble. So if you look at the top of your bobble, you've got this this space here. Put my hook in there. You've got that space, and then you've got this. Okay, it will be this second space here. Okay, from where we finished our stitch. So we're going to do a double crochet under those 2 bars there. A double crochet. And in the next one we're going to skip a stitch, so it'll be this one here, skip this stitch. Into the next one we're going to do another one of those treble crossed stitches, so do a treble crochet in there, and then a treble crochet into this skip stitch, so going over the top and through this stitch. You might want to use the actual hook part here, just to get your hook under there, and then bring it through, because we're working from the front, remember, and then through 2, through 2, through 2, and that's your second crossed treble stitches. So we have our corner now. You're going to do 2 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, 1, 2 double crochet, and now you're going to do exactly the same. You're going to skip a stitch, do a treble crochet, so 2 wraps, do a treble crochet in the second stitch, and a treble crochet in this missed stitch. Okay, so you're going to go over the top, pull it through, and then work in that stitch there. Okay, and then you are going to do a double crochet in the top of your bobble stitch, and then you're going to skip a stitch and do your next crossed over treble stitch. Okay, now if you need to you can rewind the video about 3 minutes back to the start here, and follow that around the rest of your square, and when you've done that, unpause the video, because I'm going to pause the video and do that myself, and I'll meet you back around the beginning. Okay, so at the end of the round, do your last 2 double crochets, chain 2, and do a slip stitch in your top chain to finish that round. And that is the end of round 3 completed. You can see your square starting to form now. So we are on to round 4 now. You're going to chain 1, that doesn't count as a stitch, and you want to do a half double crochet, so that's a yarn over, insert into that same stitch, yarn over, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and then do another half double crochet in the next stitch, and then between these crossed over trebles, in this space in between, you're going to do a puff stitch. Now, puff stitch is a yarn over, insert into that space, yarn over and pull through, and pull that up, so you've got a bit of a length there. So pull that up, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, pull up a loop there. You're doing this 4 times until you get 9 loops on your hook. I think that's 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 9, and do a chain 1 to close. Excuse me, that's your puff stitch. And now you are going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. This is your middle stitch. Okay, so now we're going to do the same in reverse on this side. So we're going to do a puff stitch in this space here. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, 9 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through every loop, and a chain 1 to close. And then you're going to do half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. That's 1 and that's 2. And then your corner is, as the last round, 2 double crochets, 1, 2 double crochets, 2 chains and 2 double crochets. Okay, and then you're going to copy this side all the way around on each side. So you're going to do 2 double crochets, your puff stitch in between the 2 trebles, 2 half double crochets in the middle, puff stitch in between your trebles, and then 2 double crochets, and your corner of 2 double crochet, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. If you need to follow around what I've just done, then rewind the video about 2 minutes and you'll be able to follow along this side again to come around, and I will meet you back around this side where you'll be finishing off your corner. Okay, and at the end of round 4 I have just slip stitched into the top of my first half double crochet. Don't get caught up by doing the chain 1 that you did at the beginning. So do a slip stitch in that half double crochet, and that is round 4 completed. Okay, so round 5 we are going to be doing some double crochets. So to start with, chain 1. And then in the next stitch, I know, the next stitch, don't get confused. In the next stitch, you are going to do a double crochet. So that's in this next stitch, double crochet. And then going behind this double crochet, we are going to do a double crochet into our first space where we did our chain. So a double crochet, and we're going behind now into that first space and doing our double crochet. Okay, so they are crossing over. If you remember, we've got our trebles down here crossing over, and we've got our double crochet up here crossing over now. And we are going to do more of these crossed over double crochets. So you're going to skip the next stitch and go into the next stitch, which is this one here, not the chain on top of your if you see this here, not the chain on top of your puff stitch, but the next stitch here. So skip this one and go into this one and do a double crochet in there, and then a double crochet coming over here. So coming over here and into this stitch here. Okay, so this is where I like to use my hooks. So we're going to go into this stitch here and then work from behind and do your double crochet there. Oops. Excuse me. You can of course just fold your work down and work from behind, but if you remember seeing me ever work behind stitches, I kind of like to watch from the front to see what I'm doing there. Okay, so now you're going to skip the next stitch, which will be this one right here. You're going to go into the next stitch and do a double crochet, and then work behind and go into that stitch that you skipped and do, oops, try that again, shall we? Go into that whole stitch and then do your double crochet, and then you're going to skip the chain on top of your puff stitch and go into the so you're going to miss that altogether, and then you skip the next stitch and go into the next one. So effectively you're skipping two of these bars. So you're missing that one because that's just a chain, and then you're missing this stitch and go into the third one to do your double crochet. So your chain spaces or your chains on top of your puff stitches don't count when you're skipping stitches. Okay, I hope I've made that clear enough. So where are we? Okay, so we're going to go behind and into that stitch that you skipped. Keep missing those bars. So go into that stitch that you skipped and do your double crochet, and then you've got one more along this side, so skip your next stitch. So remember, you're skipping the double crochet that you just did previously, and then the next empty stitch, and then do your double crochet in the stitch next to that, and then do a double crochet in the skipped stitch working behind. And there's your side of all these crossed over double crochets. And then your corner is exactly how we've been doing in the last 2 rounds, is 2 double crochets and chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into that corner space. And then you're going to do exactly the same along here. You are going to skip the first stitch, so this one here, skip this first stitch, do your double crochet into this one, into this stitch here, and then work behind it and go into this one to do a double crochet. And then you're going to work all the way along doing a skip stitch, double crochet, then work back into your skip stitch. So if you need to, rewind the video, follow along what I've done here and copy it all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, and when you get to the end of that round, you want to slip stitch into the top of your first double crochet. So that will be the one that's leaning over this way, okay? That was your first one. So do a slip stitch into that first double crochet, and we are ready for round 6. So round 6. Now round 6 couldn't be simpler. After all these twists and things, round 6 is really lovely and simple. So you want to chain 1, and then in that same stitch space you want to do a single crochet, so the chain doesn't count as always. And then you are going to do in every stitch a single crochet, every stitch a single crochet, and then in your corners you are going to do a single crochet, chain 2 and a single crochet. Now as you go around, you should have 16 stitches along each side, including these corner ones here. You should have 16 stitches along each side. So you're going to make 64 single crochets into stitches, and then you'll have your corners of those extra single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So every stitch around, single crochet, in the corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and simple as that. And then we're going to slip stitch in the top. So I'll meet you back round here when I've done a round of single crochets. See you in a moment, guys. Okay, so at the end of that round 6 of single crochets, just do a slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet, and then we will move on to round 7. So round 7, you are going to chain 1, and then in this same stitch you're going to make a popcorn stitch. Now we've made those quite a bit already in the crochet along. So we're doing 5 half double crochet popcorn. So 5 half double crochets into this same stitch. It's 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then pull up that loop, find your first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pop your hook in there, hook in there, and then pop that loop back on your hook and pull through. She says, there we go, pull through. And now in the next 2 stitches, a half double crochet, 1, 2 half double crochets, and in the next 2 stitches we're going to do an X puff. So excuse me, skip a stitch, go into the second stitch and make one of your puff stitches that we've been doing. So 1, 2, 3, oops, well done there, let's try that again, shall we? 3 and 4, and pull through. So you've made your first puff, and now you've got your missed skipped stitch just here. Okay, you can see that just there. So what you're going to do is yarn over, insert into that stitch, and then pull through, and you're kind of going over this first puff stitch. So that's once, and then twice. Try to keep this a bit loose if you can. That's 3 times, and that's 4 times. You've got your 9, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, once more. You need your 9 loops on your hook. Just double check that, and then pull through all 9 loops. You might need to wiggle it sometimes if it gets a bit caught. There we go. Pull that through, and then you can see here your 2 puff stitches have crossed over. Now this will become neater when we continue along. So there's your puff stitch, your crossed puff stitch. You've got some going this way and some going that way. That's your crossed puff stitch. And then you're going to do 2 half double crochets. So working along, 2 half double, oops, 2 half double crochets. And then you're going to do another popcorn stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half double crochets. Popcorn stitches popping off my hook. That's 5. Pull that loop up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop the loop back on the hook and pull through. There we go. And then you're going to do 2 more half double crochets. 1, 2 half double crochets, and another crossed puff, X puff. So skip a stitch and then do your 4 lots of yarning over. So that's 2, 3, 4, pull through, and then yarn over and go into this stitch here that you've missed. Go into there once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times, and pull through. And that's your second crossed puff. And then you are going to work into your corner. Nope, sorry, before you do that, you've got 1 stitch left here. You're going to do a half double crochet in that stitch next to your puff stitch. Okay, nearly missed that one. And then into your corner, you're going to do a half double crochet, chain 2, and a half double crochet. And that is your corner. Half double crochet, chain 2, and a half double crochet. And then coming along the other side, just the bit that you didn't see along here was that you start with a half double crochet, a half double crochet, and then an X puff in these 2 stitches. So skip one, go into the next one, do your X puff, crossed puffs, 1, 2, 3 and 4, pull through all of those loops. Might need to give it some encouragement. Pull through all 4 of those loops, and then 2, oh, doing the other way, aren't we? So going to go into your missed stitch, go into your skip stitch and do another puff. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and pull through all of those loops. And they do get a bit tight. Try and do them as loose as you can, but they do get a bit tight. I think I've missed a loop. Okay, so there we go, there's your cross puff, and then 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2 half double crochets, and that brings you back to the point on the row where you started on this side. Now if you rewind about 5 minutes, you'll be able to follow this back along, and then you'll be able to follow it all the way around and finish here. So rewind the video about 5-6 minutes and start back along this row and this row, go all the way around. I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I've finished my round 7, finished with 2 half double crochets, and then just going into the top of this popcorn stitch and going to do a slip stitch to close that round, and that is the end of that square. That's the end of our Hugs and Kisses square. If it's not quite the size that you need for your squares, then by all means feel free to do a single crochet round if you would like to. You might want to finish the round off with some kind of border anyway, because you've got these kind of bobbly stitches going on around the edge there. So if it's the size you need it to be, then you can just go ahead and fasten that off, cut your yarn, and your square is completed. Well done guys if you got through to the end of that. There's quite a lot of different stitches going on. You might want to flatten some, you might want to puff some out, but there is your Hugs and Kisses square completed. Well done guys. So if you found that video useful and helpful, as always, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you get those notifications of new videos, and the details of the Crochet Along Facebook group are in that description box below too. So until next time guys, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.